and welcome to Pocket Size Play. We're a tabletop role-playing game podcast about short, compelling, actual play. I'm Tim.
I am Tor.
I'm Timothy.
And I am Patrick.
Awesome, and hey, welcome back, guest Pat. Good to have you here.
It's good to be back.
Alright, well, let's cut to the chase. Hey, Pat, what are we playing today?
We are playing Lady Blackbird.
Cool. Yeah, Lady Blackbird is a free game by John Harper. It's a little bit of steampunk, a little bit of Star Wars. The characters are pre-generated, and we're going to jump right into the action. Lady Blackbird is on the run from an arranged marriage to Count Carlo. She hired a smuggler skyship, the Owl, to take her from her palace on the imperial world of Elysium to the far reaches of the Remnants, so she could be with her once secret lover, the Pirate King Uriah Flint. However, just before reaching the halfway point of Haven, the Owl was pursued and captured by the Imperial cruiser Hand of Sorrow, under charges of flying a false flag. Even now, Lady Blackbird, her bodyguard, and the crew of the Owl are detained on the brig, while the commander of the cruiser, Captain Hollis, runs the smuggler ship's registry over the wireless. It's only a matter of time before they discover the outstanding warrants and learn that the Owl is owned by none other than the infamous outcast, Cyrus Vance. How will Lady Blackbird and the others escape the Hand of Sorrow? What dangers lie in their path? Will they be able to find the secret lair of the Pirate King? If they do, will Uriah Flint accept Lady Blackbird as his bride? By the time they get there, will she want him to?
I'm playing Lady Blackbird, an imperial noble in disguise, escaping an arranged marriage so I can be with my lover. I go by the name Natasha Siri.
So my name is Cyrus Vance. I'm an ex-imperial soldier, turned smuggler and soldier of fortune, and I am the captain of the Owl.
I am playing Naomi Bishop, a former pit fighter and bodyguard to the one and only Lady Blackbird.
So, Lady Blackbird, Naomi, and Cyrus, the three of you are in this cell. Looking ahead, you see thick brass bars keeping you in. The floor below, it's warm metal. You can hear the steam engines whirring below. Your compatriots on the Owl, Snargle and Kale, you saw them led to a cell down the corridor. Hopefully they're okay. Every 30 breaths, you hear a click, 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 click of an Imperial Guard's boots passing by. In fact, 2 pass by right now, and they're like glancing in the cell. One of them saying, "Aye, she's a big brute, that one over there. I wouldn't mess with her." And the other responds, And that weathered-looking fellow over there seems a bit familiar."
I think I would be standing close to Natasha. I'd be standing next to her, almost like a shield, almost like a protective mother.
I've had other types of people like this that I've hauled around, and I don't ask questions. You know, I've kind of lived that life myself, so I don't really trust very many people either.
Well, it's kind of funny. I'm feeling like I have all this hidden knowledge. No one knows my true identity, and I'm acting so common. It's very fun. But at the same time, I'm a bit impatient about this situation. Captain Vance, are they going to let us go soon?
How the hell would I know that? You know, we're in a brig of an Imperial ship. Meanwhile, I'm testing the strength of these bars. Being an ex-Imperial soldier, I already kind of know how these ships are built, and there's no way out of this thing.
Those 2 guards who are talking, their conversation gets quieter as the click, 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 click recedes down the corridor. You have a moment before the next round of guards approach.
And the whole time they're walking by, chatting, I'm just giving them the cold stare.
Well, what's it about Imperial soldiers that gives you that reaction? What has the Empire ever done to you, Naomi?
I was enslaved by them for damn near 20 years. The thing with the Imperial pit fights is they start you very young. Being a young adolescent fighting for your life is the most terrifying thing in the world. It's countless faces of young people that never really got a chance to enjoy any part of their life.
You know, I've been studying Natasha's bodyguard and sizing her up. I got a plan. When they come into the cell, I think me and you, we should take them out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll crush their stinking skulls.
So you know how to take the guards out. The question is, how do you get them to enter the cell not expecting anything?
Just give me a moment. Guards! Guards!
All right, so Cyrus, you hit a key for hatching that plan, so make sure to note that. And you all hear the click, 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 click of the pair of guards returning back to the cell they had just passed by.
Just as they come up, I turn around to the other guys and give them a little wink, and then I face the guards as they come up towards me. My throat is really sore, and the dust in this cell is really uncomfortable. Could you give us some refreshments?
The two guards stop to look at each other, astonished at the way this commoner deigns to ask for refreshments. The younger one says to the older, "Well, we have Brig water. That's as lukewarm as it comes." And the senior says, "Aye, it's mighty tepid, that can of Brig water."
I think at this point, Naomi just steps right in front of Natasha. Doesn't even let her answer.
Yeah.
Yes, that'll be fine.
So the junior guard runs off to get that water. Click, 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 click. And the senior guard remains in front of the cell, pistol at his side, arms folded, distance from the bars, and calmly studying you, Cyrus Vance.
I think this is where I try to get this guard really pissed off at me. You know, while you're bringing refreshments, why don't you bring some real guards? You guys obviously are not cut out for the Imperial Navy. Back in my day when I was in the Imperial Navy, guys like you didn't last a minute.
Well, so Lady Blackbird and Naomi, you probably didn't know that your ship's captain used to be part of the Empire. You can think about what to do with that information. In the meantime, that guard, he shouts, "Aye, what was that?" And he looks to his hip where he has keys and looks to the bars and seriously considers jumping on in to give you a piece of his mind. So Cyrus, check your traits, your tags, get together your dice pool. Baiting the guard to enter is going to require 3 hits, because that's a difficult challenge, and roll away when you're ready.
Yeah, so I think I am going to draw 4 from my pool.
Well, I can assist. I'll give you one of mine.
Okay.
I agree. I say yes. It's about time the Imperials hire some real men.
Alright, so here's the roll.
That is successful.
Yeah, that's a lot of 4s and 5s and 6s.
The guard is beat red in the face, fumbles with his keys, throws open the door to the cell, and grabs his billy club to take you down, Cyrus.
I am immediately pouncing on this guy as soon as he steps foot into this cell.
Yeah, for you, taking out a single Imperial guard is an easy challenge.
Yeah, he's gonna die.
Okay.
Looks like I just did pass.
Yeah, he's a goner.
His height is shorter than mine, so it's very easy for me to slip my arm around him and lock him up in a chokehold. As I'm squeezing all those bad memories of being younger and pit fighting and what they made me do, I squeeze harder and harder and harder as I watch the life drain from his face.
So, Lady Blackbird, a.k.a. Natasha Siri, that bodyguard of yours, the one who was standing in front of you like a motherly presence, have you seen her kill someone before?
I don't think so. I just stand there, pretty shocked at first. Naomi? Is he dead?
I'm sorry you had to see that. Maybe we should just get out of here.
Yeah, so Naomi, mark that you hit that key of vengeance, and Cyrus, figure out what you want to do with that body.
So I get his pistol and the keys and the bifold. So I was thinking of throwing Natasha the keys to go open the cell and get my crew.
Cool. Naomi, what do you do when this captain gives the person you're protecting an order that doesn't involve you being there?
I just say no. I'm going wherever Natasha's going.
Yeah.
So, Lady Blackbird and Naomi, you dash into the corridor with those keys toward the cell where Snargle and Kale wait. As they exit, Cyrus, you hear the click, click, click of the guard returning with the brig water. So, Cyrus, you're in a good position to catch this guard off guard as he curiously pokes his head through the open door to the cell, spilling just a bit of water from that can. What do you do?
I think the gun is at his head, and I just say, make a sound and I'll blow you away. With my other hand, I take the can of tepid water and take a drink out of it.
I imagine the water spills out, like it's running down your shirt, and there's a puddle on the floor, and you look over, and the guard's pants are also wet, but not from the tepid water. So, what are you telling him to do?
He's in front of me, and I'm kind of got the gun to the back of his head and telling him to walk into the cell. And as soon as he gets in there, I'm going to try to hit him over the head with the butt of the gun and try to knock him out.
Cool. Make him do what you want without retaliating. So go ahead and roll. That is an easy challenge.
Do you think battle harden applies here?
Have you had to hold a hostage at gunpoint in your previous combat experience before?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, use that tag, get those dice, and roll.
Yeah. So I'm rolling 5 dice.
And you just barely made it. So go ahead and knock him out.
Yeah, I just told him to turn around, and then I hit him on the back of the head with a pistol.
All right, in the meantime, let's jump to Lady Blackbird and Naomi. So just around that corner down the corridor, you find another cell with brass bars, and inside is Kale, the petty thief and spellcaster in his unnecessarily long robes. And beside him is a chicken. Snargle is a shape-shifting goblin, after all. "Our precious cargo has come to save us," Kale says, a bit droll. "Bark," says Snargle.
I've never seen anything like a Snargle. I don't know what a Snargle is. I'm still confused about Snargle.
It's time to leave. And I fumble the keys in the lock and just try to open it up. As I'm doing that, I'm whispering back to Naomi. Make sure you watch the sides and get a drop on any guards that might be coming.
Kale glances at Natasha, fumbling with the keys. "Well, we were about to try our plan, but if you can find the right key, then we'll try yours." "Bark," says Snargle. So, Lady Blackbird, finding the right key to unlock them before the guards come is a challenging obstacle, so we'll need 4 hits.
I got nothing for that. Cunning.
Alright, how many hits did you get?
That's 1.
You try one key, it doesn't fit. You try another key, it doesn't fit. It seems like you've tried 1,000 keys. You now hear shouting from down the corridor. Maybe the guards realize that their rotation was off. By now, how are you feeling? Are you angry?
Yeah, I'm a bit frustrated and I'm feeling very embarrassed that I'm trying to be proactive and things are not going in my favor here.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Mark that condition angry on your character sheet, please.
Cool. Angry.
So by now, Kale is sweating, the color's drained from his face, and Snargle is jumping around, feathers everywhere. And you found the right key, but it broke off in the lock and it's stuck.
Her getting frustrated makes me frustrated. Like how a little kid tries to do something like tie his shoes or a simple task for an adult. I think I'm just going to try to brute strength it and just kick the crap out of the door.
Yeah, Naomi, here on your character sheet, it says you have the secret of destruction. You can break things with your bare hands as if you were swinging a sledgehammer. It's scary. So you can do that automatically, or you can try to do it quietly so that the guards don't hear. They're already running all around. That would be challenging. So which way you want to do this?
Yeah, I think the frustration just overcomes me, and I don't have time to do it quietly. It's like just open the door already. And when she breaks the key off, it's like, automatic spring-loaded leg kick right into the cell door.
Oh god.
Yeah, like the individual bars are flying everywhere, bouncing off the walls, making noise. Snargle and Kale are free. They're running with you through the corridor, and the guards definitely heard that.
Oh, yeah, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
So here's what we're going to do. You find the locker with all of your weapons and items in there. So you have that, and all that's between you and the loading bay where the owl is an elevator ride. So we're going to cut to that rather long elevator ride. It's a good opportunity for any kind of flashback scenes or one-on-one interactions, since you all have some pool dice you might want back or conditions to take care of before that final scene. It's a tiny elevator. The 5 of you are crammed in. Music plays. Bottom, bottom, bottom.
I'm just trying to have a lot of grace for Natasha, but I'm frustrated of all the noise that was made. Had a little trouble with the keys? Did you?
It's not my fault you got us locked up here in the first place.
Whoa, where did that come from? I mean, I think it was just dumb bad luck, right?
Probably.
I think, that just happens sometimes.
So, Cyrus, why did you let her off the hook so easily, this Natasha?
She's obviously never been in prison. She's well-fed, bathed, smells nice. Has all of her teeth. There's a lot to like about this particular cargo. So I think it's just, comparatively, it's night and day.
Cyrus Vance, did you just hit the key of hidden longing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
There's not a lot of room to maneuver in this elevator. I touched Natasha on her shoulder. My brute strength, I kind of just turn her around in the other direction so she's not facing Vance anymore. So now she's like facing Snargle.
I was in the middle of blowing off some steam because I'm angry. I pay you to take me away from here safely, and you do your job, and your job is getting away from these guys, and you failed at your job, and then I get turned around, and my head goes back a bit to keep the conversation, but then it kind of quiets down a bit.
Could I do a refreshment scene as well?
Yeah, sure thing. So, Lady Blackbird and Cyrus, refill those pool dice. Lady Blackbird, get rid of that angry condition, and take it away, Naomi.
Okay, so this is a flashback to many years prior. It features a slightly younger Naomi and a very much younger Natasha. She's about 6 years old. Cute little thing running around in pigtails. I'm putting a toy together for her. This toy is the most complicated thing anybody could ever try to put together for a child. I'm getting so aggravated at it that it finally boils over, and I just start cursing, and I smash the toy to little bits with my fist. Little Natasha comes up and she puts her hand on my arm. She says something to me that calms me down. Natasha, do you remember what that was you said to me?
I love you, Naomi. I'm sure it would be beautiful if you finished it.
And being here in this elevator, knowing that she's there, it keeps me from exploding, I guess we could say.
Oh, so Naomi refreshed that pool dice. That's when the music stops as the heavy metal doors open up. You see the hangar, you see the owl in the distance. There are soldiers with guns about to run right past. The door opens and you see 3 armed guards running by. They look at the 5 of you, eyes open, and they start running the other way. There's guards everywhere. I mean, that's a given. But there's a lot of distractions going on because you have ships that are already being worked on, the smaller crafts. You have a lot of people who are just mechanics, not even actual armed soldiers. There's a handful of those. And then there's the owl which is actually docked at the very edge where the door is already open. You can see the bluish green sparkling atmosphere just outside of it. It's wrapped up in some chains right now for some reason, and that reason is quickly explained over the loudspeaker as you hear, "Oh, drats, there they are. Well, jettison the ship, I guess. We can't have them going away."
I grab Natasha by the arm and I bolt out of the elevator, knocking anybody over that's in my way.
So Snargle goes flying and tumbles over some crates. Kale is firing off some little bits of sparkly magic from his fingertips. It's nothing but a glamour, but he's trying to create some distractions as he's running towards Snargle.
When we get into a run, I'll pull my arm free and run alongside. Just looking around to see if there's anyone firing at us or running at us or what's blocking our way.
So Cyrus, you see that there are 3, 6, 9, that's about a dozen of those soldiers who have gathered at a group near where there's a large stairwell underneath that loudspeaker. They all have guns, and they're lining up like a firing squad, taking aim at these pair women streaking across the hangar in plain view. So Cyrus, what are you doing?
Is there any kind of steam pipes nearby them?
Oh, there's always a steam pipe nearby. Steampunk.
I guess I'll take the shot at the steam to try to puncture it and spray those guys with hot steam. Yeah.
Beautiful. So yeah, that's challenging to do. Give it your best shot.
I'm gonna roll 9 dice.
Cool.
Nice.
That does it. When you hit it, that little ding, and then and there's a cloud underneath, and a couple of those men shout out, "Ah!" And as the steam fades away, you see pink, tender, exposed skin. Several of them have dropped the guns as if they're probably too hot to handle. There's a door that opens to the stairway, and you see Captain Hollis stand out, and you know Captain Hollis because it's Captain Hollis, now captain of the Hand of Sorrow, and Naomi and Natasha, you have your way clear. So there's a big old ship, and it has chains around it, and there's about half dozen workers heaving in the distance, and you see the owl kind of teetering on the edge toward the solar system.
If they're all pulling on chains and pulling on these, dealing with this metal equipment, I can just send a bit of lightning through the whole thing. It's a bit away from the commotion happening on the other side, so I'm thinking maybe I'll get away with it without anyone realizing what's going on. I'm chanting just barely audibly, and you see small sparks forming in my hands, and then I reach out my hand towards the chains and the equipment that they are working on. Got it!
Nice, exactly. Beautiful.
And there's a bit of electricity coming from me, but it's leading electricity from the outside that shoots down into these chains.
In a blink of an eye, they're sprawled out around the ship and look stunned and dazed. And Naomi, you notice something. That block and tackle, whatever's holding those chains up, it was definitely a softer metal that you see just melt into a puddle onto the ground. And those now probably quite hot chains are whipping around wildly as the ship finally comes to a rest, no longer being jettisoned. You see 2 of them coming in opposite directions right toward Natasha as she is recovering from that storm-bloodedness.
I think I would just scoop her up. I curl up and I try to get us out of the way of these chains, but I'm actually like totally embracing her, like I'm a turtle shell.
Keeping her safe is difficult. That's all.
Yeah.
You're big. You can cover her. You're strongest.
Yeah, so that's 7 dice. Oh yeah. These chains hit just behind us and making this huge racket and throw up sparks of their own.
Cyrus, too bad you were on the other side of the hangar because you missed a real good dramatic scene there. Maybe you feel the storm in the air. Those guards are on the ground struggling to get their guns. That door opens up above that stairway, and you see Captain Hollis, and she has dark tanned skin. She has a close cropped blondish hairstyle that is kept impeccably neat, and always keeps her lips pursed like she's just had a disagreement and is about to give you a piece of her mind. And she's carrying her trusty sword in hand and gun at her waist.
Yeah, so here's the deal with Hollis. She's notorious for being the youngest and fastest to the captaincy, in the history of the fleet. And she's a prodigy. Her father was a captain, in which he was basically the only captain to ever have a crew mutiny on him. And that happened when she was a young girl. The person that led the mutiny against her father was none other than Cyrus Vance, a young lieutenant who was passed over multiple times for his own captaincy.
Cyrus Vance, an old name, a dead name. I was just about to put a bounty on your sorry, pitiful head, but I may just take care of this here now. She's taking step after step, holding her sword, gun at side. What do you do?
Look, I know this is personal with you and me. Just let my ship and crew go, and we can settle this between you and me. You can have me. You can do whatever you want.
And she's step, that whole time you're talking, and then she's just one step away.
You don't care about that ship. You just care about me.
So she'd been holding out the sword, but it was sheathed. You don't just go down a stairwell with your sword out. And so she slowly unsheathes it. You hear the shink of the metal, and you see the gleam on that blade. Her lips are no longer pursed. It's a long, thin, wicked smile, and she says, "Finishing my father's work? That does sound like more fun."
My plan here is just to kind of parry with her, maybe take a few of these cosmetic blows, try to keep myself alive, try to buy as much time as I can.
Well, it's extreme. You can do it. It's extreme.
So I'm going to roll these 7 dice. Oh, there's a lot of 4s and 5s and 6s.
I see 5 of them. That's rather lucky. That was rather close.
Yeah, I think it was pretty close. I bought enough time. Maybe even there was this moment where I got in kind of close, and she used the butt end of her sword, to hit me in the cheek, and I got this big welt coming up on my cheek.
That means we have a perfect clearing for Naomi and Natasha. As you're climbing up to that pilot side, there's a large mirror in the front, and so in that you see a fierce sword duel going on. And you see this bird suddenly drop into a green rolling pile of Snargle with Kale right behind as they're struggling behind you, both kind of pushing their way up in there. One other thing that, Naomi, you notice is you see one of the mechanics who's there, a large, stoic woman. She's old, she's weather-beaten, she looks like she's probably held many posts in the Empire and ended up here somehow. She was the one who made you fight. She was the person who ran the whole pit fighting ring.
I know you're baiting me, Tim.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn to Natasha and say, "Stay put, I'll be right back." And I step off the ship and I approach that woman. "Do you remember me?"
Let's get it over with.
"You know all monsters must come to an end." I take her, and maybe you don't have to see it, but I drop her off the side.
The ship is now rising up above.
Yeah, I come out to the doorway, and I'm leaning out, and my hair is blowing in the wind. I see Naomi come back. Where's the captain?
But Natasha, I want to have Kale, pull you in a little bit as you say that. Bit of a storm earlier, huh? And gives you a wink.
My shoulders sink, and I'm just looking back at the Hand of Sorrow. He sacrificed himself for his crew. Almost as noble as King Uriah.
I draw in close to Captain Hollis. I'll take a rain check. And then I just blink out. And as soon as I appear on the ship, I turn to the first mate, Snargle, and I say, "That trick always works."
All right. So this is Pocket Size Play. You can talk to us on Twitter at Pocket Size Play or check out the Gauntlet gaming community at gauntlet-rpg.com. Bye, everybody. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.